In this video, we're going to be answering your question and answers that you have asked, and we are going to answer. We get hundreds of questions, and we even have people ask us to make certain videos answering this question or that question, and we're happy to do it, and we're happy to answer your questions. Unfortunately, we have 200 videos that need to be made, and so we have a long list. But those of you who support our ministry, you get first priority. Anybody giving Catholic Truth $50 a month or more, we're going to bring your questions toward the top of the list. If you support us at 100 or more, it goes right to the top of the list because you're helping us and we want to help you. So thank you to all those people who support our ministry and help us to reach so many people in the name of Christ. So let's get to these questions. My name is Bryan Mercier, and if you haven't been here before, I'm the president and founder of Catholic Truth, an organization dedicated to setting Catholics on fire and helping them to know, love, and live their Catholic faith. And in this video, we're answering questions on love and relationships. And the first question is kissing before marriage a sin? And the answer is not necessarily. I mean, you kiss your mom, you kiss your dad, you kiss people that you love, and it's not sinful. So just because you kiss someone, it doesn't mean it's a sin. It depends on the intention behind the kiss. What do you kiss for? A lot of people think you have to kiss someone in order to keep them. That would be the wrong way to use kissing. Other people kiss just to make someone else jealous. So that would be a wrong use of kissing. But if you kiss someone because you care for them and you're trying to communicate to them that you like them and that you want to communicate a piece of your heart to them, kissing can be a good thing before marriage, as long as we don't get too crazy and passionately kissing and getting into other stuff past kissing. But if you just kiss someone on the cheek, or if you kiss someone on the lips and you really want to show affection for another person, you want to show some love for them, it's not a sin. It's not wrong. You don't necessarily have to wait until marriage to kiss somebody. Those who do, it's very noble, but you don't necessarily have to. Can kissing be sinful? Yes, it can. How do you know if kissing is sinful or not? Well, if you're kissing someone to lust over them, it's a sin. If you're kissing someone so that you can go farther with them to second base, third base, touching parts of their body that you shouldn't be touching, that's a sin. If you're kissing someone for a wrong reason, not love, but lust, that's when it becomes sinful. And that leads us to our second question that somebody asked. Are the bases that come before sex sinful before marriage? And the answer is, in this case, yes. So if you go past kissing and you start touching chests and other parts of the body, sexual parts of the body, that is sinful because the way God designed it is that is part of the sexual act. Those are foreplay for sex. They're supposed to lead up to sex, and they're supposed to be the preliminary parts of sex. So those sexual parts of our body aren't supposed to be touched before marriage. Kissing, yes. Anything else after that? No. While you're technically being a virgin, it's still sinful in the eyes of God. God did not make that to be touched by anyone but your spouse. So in marriage, foreplay, sexuality, it's all good, even before the act of sex. Outside of marriage, it's actually a very serious sin in the eyes of God. So be careful. Work on it. The third question is, how do you know if your boyfriend truly loves you or if he's using you? And the answer is, well, look at your boyfriend. Does he pressure you to do things that you don't feel comfortable with? Does he pressure you to go farther than you're comfortable with? Does he pressure you to do things that you don't want to do? And does he take no for an answer? If he continues to pressure you, and if he puts pressure on you to do things that you're not comfortable with, to go places that you don't feel comfortable with, to do things sexually that you don't feel comfortable with, and they're always trying to pressure you or persuade you, even nicely, then they do not love you. They are in love with your body, and they're lusting after you, and they are using you, in fact. So if they're always trying to get to your body, if they're always trying to touch your body and be touchy-feely and rub themselves all over you, it's a clear sign that they're using you and they're not loving you. Love seeks to give and to do what's good for another person. Lust seeks to take and to get gratification for oneself. So you have to ask yourself, do they respect you? You know, women out there, you know in your heart and in your head, you're smart. You know whether you're being used or not. Whether you listen to it or not is a different story. Does your boyfriend, or girlfriend for that matter, if you're a boy, do they respect you? Do they take no for an answer? If you're constantly saying no and they're constantly bugging you, then they don't love you. That's 100% fact. They don't love you. They're using you to get something from you. Only people who respect you, who will respect your religious beliefs and not try to get you to change them. Anybody who tries to get you to change your religious beliefs doesn't love you. That's 100% true. They don't love you. And so only people who respect you, who are not going to pressure you into anything, who are not going to try to control you, make you feel bad, make you feel guilty, these are all signs of someone who doesn't love you, but is someone who's trying to control you and is someone who is trying to use you. We have a whole video on lines that guys use to get sex with girls if you're interested, so you can see how people try to use you and the lines that they use, and even how to respond so that you can resist peer pressure. This question says, why is it wrong to have sex when you're engaged? The answer is simple, because you're not married. God made sex for marriage, and engagement is not marriage. Some people say, yeah, but you're going to be married. That's true. Maybe. Did you know that over 25 million people a year don't make it to marriage? 25 million people every year break up when they're engaged and they don't make it to marriage. So you're not necessarily going to be married. But even if you are definitely going to get married and it's all going to work, you're going to find happily ever after, you're still not married. And God says sex is for marriage. If you truly love someone, you can wait. Love is worth the wait. And you're not going to put their heart, their soul, or themselves in danger of offending God or hell by having sex outside of marriage if you truly love them. If you made it that far, you can wait, because sex is for marriage, not for anyone outside of marriage. See, love speaks the language of forever. Sex speaks the language of forever. And before marriage, it's not forever yet. This next question says, why can't men keep their eyes to themselves? Seriously, like why can't they just learn some self-control? And the answer is, seriously, it's true. Men should keep their eyes to themselves, or at least develop some sense of self-control. That's true. I mean, it's not a woman's fault that a man lusts over her. Sure, she may be wearing skimpy clothing. She may not be dressing appropriately. She may want respect and then dress in a way that says, oh, don't respect me, but then try to get respect anyways. Of course, that might all be true. It's still up to a guy to develop self-control and learn how to see a woman properly, with love, with purity, and not in a lustful way. That's difficult. That's really difficult. And if I really asked you not to look at my hand, don't look at my hand at all for the rest of the video, and really try not to focus on it. Don't even think about it. Not even for a second. Are you thinking about it? Stop thinking about it. I mean, this is what guys have to go through. Don't look at my hand. Look at me. We have to understand that guys are visual. God made us visual, and God made us to see things first. So when we look at a woman, we're going to notice her body. We're going to notice her beauty, her hair, her smile, something about her, because we are generally attracted to beauty. Now, that's not to say that women aren't, but it's in a different way. Men are primarily visual. We see first, and then we see the whole person, who she really is, after. That's just the way we're made. And women generally see the whole person. They may see a man as attractive, but they see him as a whole person. And they're not generally attracted to just one part of him. They may be attracted to his masculinity, or his charm, or his wit, or his sense of humor, or something, the whole part of him, something deeper. Women usually aren't as shallow as men, who are only attracted visually to the physical first. And then we get into know the person after. Women usually want to get to know the person first, but are also attracted to the visual as well. So it's easier for them. But if this is all men see, and we're told not to look, not to look, not to look, but women are dressing right, and they're dressing skimpy and saying, don't look at me. We're seeing it in magazines. We're seeing this right here, what you're not supposed to look at, in movies, TV shows. We're seeing it in advertisements. We're seeing it, don't look at it. We're seeing this in books. We're seeing it around us. We see it on billboards. We see it at the beach. We see this everywhere, and we're not supposed to look. You have to understand that it's very difficult. And I myself have spent years and years purifying my mind and my heart and purifying my eyes so that I can look properly and so that I don't lust and don't look in a way that's inappropriate, even if people are dressed inappropriately. So here's the thing. Women, we're just asking for your help. We're not saying you're bad. We're just saying, please help us, because men are so weak and we're so attacked on every side. The men who speak to me, they really want to be knights. They really want to be gentlemen, but they're so bombarded by our sexual culture. And when you're told not to look at this at all, ever, and it's always in your face, it's really, really difficult. And it takes a lot of personal discipline to get to that area. So we're just asking for your help. You're not bad. A woman's body is not bad. It's actually very good, which is why men find it beautiful. And if you want to know more on that, I made a video on that specifically on women, the way they dress, and how, just by the way they dress, how they can have a better relationship with men and find men that will commit to them and give them what they want. And hint, it's not by dressing ugly. Who wants a woman who just dresses in a big potato sack? No, you can dress wonderfully. You can show off your feminine physique, not in a lustful way, but in a beautiful way that God made. The point is, the way we dress defines who we are. We can't say, oh, respect me, and then dress in a way that says, don't respect me. Next question is this. Can you lust over your wife or your husband, your spouse, in marriage? And the answer is no. We are not allowed to lust after anyone ever because lust is a sin. Lust is the opposite of love. Lust is the great killer of love. It destroys love. It destroys marriages. It destroys relationships. Now, many people mistake passion for lust. People say, oh, you can't be passionate when you're having sex in your marriage. You can't be passionate in this. Of course you can, but you can't lust. Remember that love gives itself, empties itself for another person. It gives itself to another person out of love, even if it's hard, even if it's a sacrifice, it does what's right. Lust seeks to get selfish pleasure for oneself, even if you hurt the other person, even if you have to use the other person, and even if you have to empty them of their purity and dignity. Lust is selfish. It's all about me, what I can get. It's the itch that I need to scratch, and I don't care who scratches it. I just need to scratch this itch. That's what lust is, and it's wrong, and we need to get it under control because love is the opposite of lust. And you can have a passionate love life, even in marriage. You can have a very good sexual life where you guys are very attracted to each other and you really enjoy being together sexually. That's all good, but you cannot use your spouse to scratch your own itch. You cannot use your spouse to fulfill this need in you that you can't fulfill in another way. Or you can't use your spouse for your own sexual kicks. That is always wrong. And we're going to make a whole video just on that in the future. The next question is, do long distance relationships work? Yes and no. Some people have made them work. Some people don't like them at all. I've never liked long distance relationships. Some people have been able to make them work and they're happily married today. I will probably end up interviewing people in the future on this channel, people who like long distance relationships and have found that they worked, and people who don't, and we can see why. I personally can't answer it any deeper than that. Next question, is masturbation a grave sin of grave matter? In other words, is it serious? The adult catechism says yes, but the youth catechism says no. What is the answer? The answer is that the youth catechism, it's wrong. Masturbation is a very serious sin. It's a very serious misusing of our sexuality that God gave us in a way that He never intended for it to be used. So the Catholic Church has always consistently taught that it's a very grave sin and that we must try to uproot it from our lives. Masturbation, pornography, and lust, as I said in the last question, it will destroy your marriage, no question. It'll destroy your relationship. It's the opposite of love, and it doesn't work. So please, this is not a judgment. Just try, for the sake of your future marriage, in small ways, try to uproot this lust. And in fact, we have a video, which you guys can see above. I believe it's 10 ways to overcome a pornography addiction and a lust addiction. This will give you the ways to overcome it so that your heart can be set free and be capable of loving someone for the future. The last question for today is this. How do you know who God chooses to be your future spouse? And the answer is, I have no idea. It's different for everybody. But here are a few things that you need to know. Number one, it starts with prayer. Number two, it starts with dating and getting out there and meeting people. Number three, it starts with not becoming obsessed with the person that you find and spending all of your time with them, texting them all the time, calling them all the time, spending all your time with them. If this person becomes your life, it clouds your ability to think, to discern, and to rationally figure out whether this person is right for you. And in fact, you're most likely to make the wrong decision. So what you want to do is pray about it a lot. You want to find someone. Should never date somebody that you wouldn't consider marrying. I mean, they have to be a good, outstanding person, someone of good marriage material, possible marriage material. And three, you want to take your time in the relationship, taking it slow at first and picking it up in steam over time, getting faster and faster over time, praying about it the whole time, asking advice from your family and friends, people who you trust, not friends who are like, oh yeah, do this or that, and they have no idea what they're talking about. Really trusted people that you can turn to, that really have a great knowledge in this aspect. Maybe even turn to a priest or a spiritual advisor to ask for help. But we want to discern and not just pray about it. We actually want to date someone and discern it, see how it goes. Is this person the one who's right for me? Could I see them kissing my children to bed at night? Could I see this person being hardworking, putting me first, having the ability to communicate? Or do I see this person who has anger issues? This person has a temper. He has an alcohol problem. He lies. I mean, do you see problems? God's not going to give you someone that's just a mess, who's just full of these destructive traits that are going to destroy a marriage in the future. No, we want to pick someone and choose someone who's good for us and continually bring that person to God in prayer, thinking, praying, listening to see if that person is right for us. I'll make a whole video on that in the future, and I'll even ask some married couples and some priests and nuns who I can interview as well and see if they can give you some good advice, because that is a great question. And that's all for today. We have a lot more questions to answer in the future. Again, check out our other question and answers. We have hard question and answers, good Catholic question and answers. I mean, we have question and answers on all sorts of things that you have asked, and many teens and young people have asked, and we're happy to answer. And please consider supporting our ministry so we can make many, many more videos like this, so we can get our books out there, our podcasts out there, so we can reach millions of people for Christ. Again, if you can support $50 or more, we're going to push your questions toward the top of the list. And if you support $100 or more and you want us to make a video, we'll make you a video almost right away. We will answer your questions and prioritize your questions at the top of the list, because you're helping us and we want to help you and build up your faith as well. So please consider supporting our ministry, even if you only can give $15 a month. You're helping us to reach others. Please like this video, please share this video, and please subscribe to our channel if you haven't, so you can get many more videos when they come out. God bless you.